Human beings must have water to survive. Each and every drop accumulates into enough water to nourish the lives of millions. Living in Taiwan means that we enjoy an abundance of convenient water resources. What we seldom realize is that the joy of such convenience was built upon the sweat and toil of others. This is a story, the poetry of man and water. Let us listen to the symphony of the Sherman Reservoir. Taiwan is an island rich in rain, but its high mountains and steep hills cause much of the rain to run directly into the ocean. Therefore, the question of how to hold on to this valuable water has become a vital issue. Dahan River, originally named Da Kakan River, has always been an important source of water for irrigation in the Taoyuan area. But the difference in water flowing during the wet and dry seasons was adversely affecting the rice crop. The government considered all kinds of actions to conserve water and finally settled on constructing a reservoir as the most important part of their plan. Sherman was considered a suitable area for creating a reservoir because its two opposing peaks, Mount Shichou and Mount Sherman, offered an ideal landscape for constructing a dam. And so the story of the Sherman Reservoir begins. In 1956, the government established the Sherman Reservoir Construction Committee. After 8 years of planning and construction, the reservoir was completed in 1964. It was Taiwan's first multi-purpose water resource development project to not only secure a steady source of water for crops, but also provide drinking water and electricity for industrial use. And it quickly became a powerful component of economic development in northern Taiwan. During the half-century since its inception, the Sherman Reservoir has been a nameless hero that silently provides people with water and electricity, irrigates farmers' fields, protects citizens from floods, and enriches the economy through tourism. At first, irrigation was the main objective for constructing the reservoir. Upon completion, it also regulated water flow and solved the problem of water scarcity during the dry seasons, which was a huge boon for farmers. Taoyuan Canal and Sherman Canal were constructed to supply the reservoir with water for irrigation. Normally, the supply of water is based on the principles of timeliness and adequate amounts. We must involve farmers in coordinating alternate irrigation and increasing irrigation management, as well as strengthen advocacy for water conservation. Due to economic development and industrial restructuring over the years, consumption of water for both everyday use and industry has steadily increased. The Sherman Reservoir currently supplies the public with 1.4 million tons of water every day and ensures a steady supply of water so that northern Taiwan's industries and cities can continue to grow. Even during the design stages, plans were formed to take advantage of Sherman Reservoir's hydraulic energy to produce electricity, The reservoir currently houses two power plants, Sherman and Yixing, which generate a combined total of over 400 million kilowatt-hours of electricity annually, significantly helping solve Taiwan's shortfall of electricity and enabling more efficient use of local water resources. The Sherman Reservoir regulates the floodwaters of the upper Dahan River in order to reduce the chance of flooding in the greater Taipei area. The main flood prevention facilities are the spillways and drainage tunnels. The spillway was designed with 6 bays. The drainage tunnel, located on the right side of the dam, was an addition completed in 1984. The drainage tunnel's increased drainage capacity enables water to be discharged in advance when floodwaters from a typhoon are predicted, and the spillway can also be employed to discharge water as necessary in response to flood conditions to ensure the integrity of the dam itself and reduce the danger of flooding downstream. The Sherman Reservoir is an amazing piece of architecture surrounded by an equally magnificent landscape. The beauty of the lake attracts many visitors. The top of the reservoir offers a complete view of the entire dam. Visitors can also visit nearby sites such as Yishanga Museum, Huancui House, Shizhou Park, the Maple Forest, Dieyuan, and more. Every season presents a different scene. We invite visitors to stop and listen for a moment to this beautiful symphony produced by humans, water, and nature. Nature presents daily challenges to the operation of the reservoir. Whenever there is a natural disaster such as a typhoon or earthquake, rocks and soil often collapse into the upstream catchments, resulting in increased sedimentation in the reservoir itself, which in turn shortens the reservoir's service life. To lengthen service life, debris dams and various regulation projects are in place to maintain the reservoir's water quality and natural ecosystem. For many residents of the Taoyuan area, the memory of Typhoon Eri in 2004 is still fresh in their minds. The torrential rainfall caused landslides, and the turbidity level of the water was so high that the water supply of local residents and businesses was cut off. To prevent an incident like this from happening again, the vertical profiling system was put in place to monitor the quality of the different levels of water. When a typhoon hits, water can be drawn from the layers with the least amount of turbidity to ensure that the public still has access to fresh water. Many improvements are still being worked on at the dam to ensure its safe operation. The countless workers who have safely seen the Sherman Reservoir through storms and other disasters are like the reservoir's guardian angels. Each one of them is a key to the continued operation of the reservoir. Through the concerted efforts of these workers, we can see the vitality of the Sherman Reservoir. A trip to the Sherman Reservoir is like visiting a serene and relaxing garden. Along the Wanhu Highway, visitors are shaded from the sun by dense foliage. The forest is not just a habitat for birds and other creatures, but is also a vibrant ecosystem full of rich and varied life that changes in appearance every season. Heading along past the dam, one can see various carefully planned sites, among which is the Maple Forest Trail. It is surrounded by more than 3,000 oak and maple trees that are more than 30 years old, and is one of the best places to see maple trees in all of Taiwan. At the bottom of the trail is the Maple Forest Park. Every autumn, the beauty of the maple leaves, mountains, and water attract a plethora of visitors. The Sherman Reservoir is also a diverse ecosystem with many different living organisms. The vast area of water is a habitat for many aquatic creatures, and many hydrophilic animals and plants line the banks. Terrestrial creatures include a diverse range of animals, including mammals and birds, as well as various plants. The area features more than 30 rare animals which are classified as protected species. Aquatic organisms include plankton, shrimp, crab, snails, aquatic insects, and various fish species. The Sherman Reservoir is like an outdoor classroom with a wealth of both ecological and cultural resources, and is a perfect place for environmental education. It teaches us to love and conserve the water. Don't forget to admire the reservoir's cultural side as well as its natural beauty. During the dry season, the Shinganping reveals itself from underneath the waters. Remnants of the people living there when the dam was being built can still be seen amid the grasslands. These traces all remind us of how much effort was put into building and operating the reservoir by so many people over the years to achieve the results of today. The Sherman Reservoir has increased industrial development and progress over the past 50 years. In celebration of the Republic of China's 100th year, the Executive Yuan's Public Construction Commission held an online poll of Taiwan's 100 best pieces of architecture, and the Sherman Reservoir was voted among the top 10. Today, a visit to the Sherman Reservoir can include cycling, hiking, walking, and even boating. If visitors are interested in learning more about the area, professionally trained volunteers are happy to give you a detailed guided tour. Various events are also held on weekends and holidays, which show off its cultural side. The 21st century is the century of water. Water resources are extremely precious. The Sherman Reservoir is upgrading itself into an ecological park area for leisure and conservation so that visitors can better understand the reservoir. Through their experiences, visitors will learn about ecotourism and interacting with nature without disturbing or harming nature. The reservoir staff is currently working diligently on silting prevention upgrades for the hydroelectricity plant, as well as sediment removal projects in order to increase the operational lifespan and economic benefits of the reservoir. All of our efforts will ensure that people enjoy adequate amounts of sustainable quality water. And in the future, the Sherman Reservoir will combine cable cars with environmentally friendly electric vehicles and solar-powered boats, as well as the existing bicycle trail which surrounds the reservoir, to create a stunning eco-friendly Sherman Reservoir Park. Although the ripples across the water do not leave permanent traces behind, the creatures nourished by the reservoir will continue their cycle of life forever.